Well, I guess we'll take it from here. We are seeing some heavy downpours really across the areas east of town. And this is where we need to keep our guard up. In fact, the National Weather Service just expired that flash flood warning that was draped from Galveston into Chambers County this morning. Hey, this is a live update for you. There is a new flash flood warning that does include Chambers County. I'm not surprised because even yesterday we were picking up those really heavy rainfall rates. So this is kind of just exacerbating that problem where now we have that in effect until 9 o'clock. So bottom line, when you look at the radar, I know that we are getting a big break areas west and southwest where Nicholas did make landfall as a Cat 1 hurricane at around 12:30. But see, all this is now shifting eastward, and that is where the biggest threat for this high water is going to continue to be. We need to continue to monitor Clear Creek really closely. And again, all areas basically south and to the east. I'm going to zoom in where we're seeing these moderate downpours picking up maybe half, 6/10 of an inch per hour. That's about it. Highway 99 here from Beach City into Baytown. This will be a spot that we need to watch closely too. As some of this lifts northward, Mont Bellevue will probably be the next to see some of those moderate downpours. Inside the loop along the east side from Harrisburg into Galena Park to Jacinto City this morning. Notice that's where we're picking up a few moderate downpours. But otherwise, you look at the radar right now and you do think that this is manageable rain. We're not tracking any freeway closures because of these big high water spots, but there's a lot of debris across the area. We have saturated conditions and really strong winds. I mean, we're still dealing with a tropical storm basically sitting on top of the city. Some of these winds right now sustained to 26 miles per hour in Sugar Land. That's enough. It's moving debris around. That's why we continue to see these power outages continue to increase. The last we checked, we were up to 416. That number may have increased just over the past couple of minutes or so. 30-mile-per-hour winds in Galveston, 23 in Pearland, 22 at IAH. And as the center of circulation of Nicholas starts to shift east, the strongest winds will follow in suit. But we do have several hours of this. In fact, putting this into future motion, I'll take this up until about 4 o'clock this afternoon. And that's when finally we start to see these winds die down. And notice it is across the area that we'll be looking more like 10 to 15 mile per hour winds through the afternoon. So that's still breezy, but it's not nearly as what we're starting off with this morning. So I do want to bring in Tim Pandages. We've been tag teaming all morning long. We've been watching the center of circulation. You know, I see that you're watching that right now and how those winds are following in suit. You know, as we look through the afternoon, Tim, what are you expecting as we start to see Nicholas, the center of circulation, finally move east?
Yeah, so the winds will definitely be dying down because now the storm is over land. It's no longer going to be strengthening. It will be weakening over time. It's away from its fuel source. But as it does so, the wind field spreads out and also the rain will continue and push its way off to the east as it tracks slowly northeastwards at 9 miles per hour. So at the last update at 4 o'clock, it pointed to the location of the storm being right along the county lines of Fort Bend and Brazoria. So if it's moving at 9 miles an hour, headed in the direction of Houston, it still hasn't arrived there yet and will do so in the coming hours. Strongest of the winds closest to the center there, and they're up aloft. And when you get the heavy downpours, those do drag down the strongest winds to the surface. And those heavy rains now are lifting well north of the center. So even though we're getting close to the center out by Hobby, Pearland, and Sugar Land, we should see the winds eventually go down a bit there as this lifts north because we're looking for the strongest winds now to be in those heavier rain bands off to the north of the city. But look at some of those recent gusts over the last 6 hours approaching 60 miles an hour. Current wind gusts, Galveston at 45 miles an hour, Sugar Land at 46, and Houston at Bush 32 miles an hour. So tracking the rain and also the wind gust speeds as we go forward. The rain is pushing on out. It's tracking along with the center of Nicholas, pushing to the northeast by later on this morning into the afternoon hours. And by later today, I think this is overdone in terms of any lingering rain showers. I think we'll be drying out by that point. Still breezy at that point. The winds coming in out of the north, but they are on the lighter side. And as we get farther and farther away from the center of the system, things will improve greatly. So your day part planner shows the rain chances this morning. Hardly any rain chance, about 20% or so by lunchtime. And this afternoon, we'll just carry that off to the north and east. Temperatures topping out mid-80s. Now, better conditions for the rest of the week. Temperatures mid to upper 80s. By the weekend, 30% chance of an isolated storm as we continue our classic mid-September pattern. Steph?